I go out to the clerk, I talk to them, and I'm thinking, okay, there's a continuation that happened. Instead, I found out this was divested to county court. That means most likely she's facing way more serious charges. Or, well, not way more serious charges. The charges are still the same, but most likely they could penalize her a lot harder.
The prosecution is moving it to higher courts because of all the social media attention. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's first and foremost. Secondly, in this week's episode of F Around and Find Out, we have our professional victim, Mrs. I'm the Victim, DoorDash girl herself.
This is a man's world! I'm the victim! Remember? I'm the victim!
She utilized her TikTok platform for money and fame the same way that I will utilize this platform to continue to ensure that she gets destroyed in the courtroom. Now, shout out to this brother right here. He goes by the name of Atozi. All right, I'll link it down in the description box down below, but he's doing God's work, all right, and keeping everybody updated on this circus. He took the trip out to the courthouse to report on this situation because mainstream media, and of course, we already knew this was going to happen, they've stopped following up on this case at the point that they realize that it doesn't follow the narrative that they originally were trying to push. Go figure. Nothing's new. But yeah, he attended the initial court hearing, so we can continue to break it down even further. So let's get extremely active on this one, family. Without further ado.
Things just got so much worse for the TikTok DoorDash girl because this is becoming a nightmare for her.
And if you don't know about this situation, it is insane. So here's a quick rundown.
So on October 12, 2025, a DoorDash driver by the name of Olivia Henderson got an order in Oswego, New York. This was apparently a late night Wendy's order, and from what we know, all she had to do was leave the food at the door, take a picture of the food, and continue on with her night. Instead, she allegedly made a series of awful decisions. The police and prosecution, they're alleging that she pushed the door open and decided to film a drunk dude who was passed out on his couch with his pants down. So in my first video on this story, I reported that she walked into the house because that's what currently was going viral on TikTok. That, from what I know, is wrong. So I have to issue a massive retraction and correction to that statement. All the, at least credible sources are claiming that she never walked into that house. She was only standing in the doorway. But still, either way, filming and posting what she saw after she allegedly either opened the door or pushed open the door is still incredibly stupid. So
it explicitly said on the instructions to leave at the door, not open the door, peek inside, take a picture of my pecker, and then put it up on the internet. Extreme violation of privacy, all in the sake of proliferation of I'm a victim via her TikTok accounts. Let's go.
What the prosecution is alleging is true. She seemingly went onto TikTok and tried to destroy an innocent man's life for passing out within his own house with his pants down. Now, obviously, we're not going to show the original video. I can't even find the original video. All I can find is a screenshot. But even if I could find the original video, I wouldn't be showing that here on this channel for obvious reasons. You know, because there is a massive privacy issue there. But this is her follow-up video to the original video.
So on October 12, 2025, the DoorDash customer requested that their order be left at their front door. When I arrived at their front door was wide open. Their lights were on. They were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me.
Okay, so she says the door was wide open, and the police and prosecutors say otherwise. And the reason they're saying this is because there's allegedly Ring doorbell footage of her either opening or pushing the door open. Now, the only problem is, to my knowledge, that footage has not been released to the public. I was actually hoping to see that footage today in court, but court had different plans for us today.
Because I also reported this to the police, and the police are doing nothing. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. I was working. I was literally working. And they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my assault while door dashing. They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing.
Okay, so that's her side, and the prosecution is basically saying something around the lines of this happening.
Sir, I have your DoorDash. Oh! Ew! I'm a victim!
Now, obviously, that video exaggerates things for humor, and again, correction, she didn't go into the house from what we know. But this was her final response before the trial.
Hi guys, it's the DoorDash girl. There have been a lot of people saying things like I entered the customer's home or I opened the customer's door, but I can assure you that I did not do either of those things, and I have obtained irrefutable proof that the door was already wide open when I arrived to the customer's house. But due to its importance, I cannot post that proof at this time.
Okay, so we have two sides saying two different things. The only thing everyone can agree on is that the homeowner was laying passed out inside of his own home with his pants down. Then she had her arraignment, which was actually televised, and she asked to ban cameras, but the judge reportedly responded, so now you don't want cameras involved. So I wouldn't say that was a strong start for her, but that was her arraignment. This is how her first hearing went. And as we found out, it didn't go as expected, and it doesn't seem like she's just gonna get a slap on the wrist.
It is hilarious, the irony of you complaining about TikTok canceling your account for uploading lewd content. Meanwhile, you don't want cameras involved in this case when it is you to be held accountable.
And they took down my video. They were gonna have to pay me for my second story time because that was over a minute long. They were gonna have to pay me for all those views I got. So nope, they took that right down. They took that right down. Absolutely not. They're not paying me for that. Nope.
When you listen to her complain like that, then you understand the real reason that incentivized her to post it in the first place. Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial. At least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now.
Because today we're heading to the TikTok DoorDash girls trial, which is tomorrow. So we're going to Syracuse, New York now. But I definitely wanted to attend this trial because there's been so many details about this case that have been extremely unclear. So might as well go show up and get them clarified. Yeah, this is the smallest airplane I've ever been on.
Welcome to Syracuse, where local time is 2:03 p.m.
All right, so I'm in Syracuse, New York. This is not Miami. Why can't an influencer break the law somewhere tropical? Miami was great. This is rough. Tomorrow morning, I'm driving the last like 25 minutes or so to get to Oswego. And apparently Oswego is known for being even colder than this spot. So that's awesome.
Good morning.
This is giving me incredibly terrible flashbacks. I mean, I'm from New York, but for grad school, for my MBA, I went to University of Rochester, so I was up there for like 2.5 years. 8 hours driving north of New York, where I'm from. It's still in New York, but that thing is up by Canada, baby. After dealing with this type of weather so often throughout my life, I will never find myself firmly planted in a city, a state, a province with cold-ass weather ever again.
Oswego is known for being even colder than
50 in the morning here. The trial starts at 7:30. I'll probably try to get there like half an hour early so we have way more time than anticipated. But yeah, for now, coffee, a little bowl of cereal. It's time to wake all up and we'll be good. There's a few things that are probably gonna happen today. Or actually I say that, but in reality, I don't know what's gonna happen because there's always surprises when you go to trial. She currently has a public defender and she's charged with 2 counts. She has 1 count of dissemination of unlawful surveillance image. She also has 1 count of unlawful surveillance. Both of these she's pled not guilty to. As stated, she's currently being represented by a public defender. From talking to the practicing lawyers I know, it seems like it's very likely that a plea deal will happen today. Who knows though? That's why we're gonna go see. The big thing is for her is she filmed the guy. That's why she's charged. You have a whole bunch of arguments about like, okay, did she open the door? Was the door already kind of opened? How was the door when she found it? There's now alleged Ring camera footage showing that she either opened the door or pushed the door open before she started filming. That's the really damning evidence. So we have the police alleging that she opened the door and started filming. And then we have DoorDash essentially banning her from the platform because she filmed the customer. But she's claiming that she's the victim in all of this, which is why, you know, all of her TikToks started in general. So it will be interesting to see how her defense argues for her in court. If I was gonna be making any predictions on what's gonna happen is,
My guess, plea deal, I think they're going to be very lenient on her. She didn't even have to bail out, so she was released on her own recognizance, meaning she didn't have to pay bail. It's basically just an honor system. It's like, hey, you can go, you don't have to give us anything, we just trust that you're going to show up to court. So I have a feeling that her sentence is going to be, or her plea is going to be very lenient. Most likely, she'll be getting like some community service, maybe a fine. That's what I'm expecting here, but we'll see.
All right.
You can clearly see the inherent difference here as if this was a man, how he would be treated. I can damn near guarantee you there would not have been no honor system bond. Either he'd be sitting in a jail or doing some type of odd community service, or like having to go door to door to tell all of his neighbors in his neighborhood what he did, as well as a registry to an S-offenders list.
Welcome to Oswego, New York. This is the city courthouse. This is probably the spot. You just got out of the court case for the TikTok DoorDash girl. Something big did happen, but it took a while for anything to happen at all. So I got here at the court at about 9:21. She was on trial at 9:30. This time it was a little bit different because last time we know that we had footage of inside of the courtroom because the news was there. So the news, they were set up, they were filming her. I walk in, there's no TV camera set up. I don't even see any journalists. And basically I was there until the end. I can confirm there was no journalist there. So it's only me that was there, which is kind of interesting. Other updates to this case, she still has a public defender. She has 2 charges. At 9:30, judge walks in, everyone stands up, sits down, you know, the whole thing. And I don't see the DoorDash girl. I think it was just because I didn't see her, because she was sitting in there. And at that time, I was sitting in kind of in the back right of the courtroom. And this courtroom is set up in a, not the best fashion, because there's a column blocking the judge and the audio isn't really good. And it didn't seem like they had the microphone speakers on the back. So I couldn't hear what was going on. So I had to move around. Eventually, after they went through a couple of the defendants, I got up and I moved. And that's when I could actually see the judge, so I can at least read what his lips were saying, because the audio was still bad. And I think I sat down kind of behind the DoorDash girl at that point, and that's when I spotted her. Going through my notes real quick, oh no. So 10 o'clock rolls around, and I see who I think is the DoorDash girl's public defender. 10:25 rolls around, nothing yet. Okay, so at this point, I've been here for a minute. 10:50 rolls around. Woman who looks like the DoorDash girl, who I think was, she gets up after talking to her public defender and leaves. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on now? Is this like another Jack Doherty situation where there's some like continuation? Do I have to show up tomorrow? I don't know. I wait around even further. Then we have probably like another 40 minutes of waiting. They go through the last people. The judge then is waiting for one of the defendants to show up. So we get through them, and suddenly it's just me in court, in the courtroom. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going up on the stand. So that must mean it's over. I go out to the clerk, I talk to them, and I'm thinking, okay, there's a continuation that happened. Instead, I found out this was divested to county court. So originally, where we're at, this building right here, this is the city court. So city court, I mean, this is kind of like small fines, but hers was divested to county court. So as I said, originally she was in city court, but now county court, that's the main state court. So that means most likely she's facing way more serious charges. Or well, not way more serious charges. The charges are still the same, but most likely they could penalize her a lot harder. So according to the lawyer that I've been talking to, that's the prosecutor that moved it there, most likely because of all the public attention on the case and the public outcry. So that means that most likely she won't get a slap on the wrist. So currently she is facing 8 years in prison. That's her max sentence, because it's a 4-year max sentence for each of the felonies, and her minimum sentence seems to be a couple years of probation, and that is if she's convicted 100% though. It seems like she was moved to Superior Court, so that's actually even worse for her.
Well, the prosecution is moving it to higher courts because of all the social media attention. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's first and foremost. Secondly, this is the reason I keep on covering content like this, because it does matter. Each one of y'all views, y'all likes, y'all comments, it is a vote in a direction towards public observance and care. These are the type of cases that get buried and forgotten. These are the Rhoda Brickface Osmonds of the world, those that will utilize false allegations to continue to paint male image as nothing but negative. That's why we must continue. Let's finish up.
Uh-oh.
Right.
So that's what we have right now. She's currently facing 8 years in prison. That's the worst case. She's not going to get that. But her minimum is at least a couple years on probation. Either way, she shouldn't have done this. This is like a big self-inflicted thing that didn't need to happen. I don't know why she decided to do that. Those are all the updates for now.
But I guess if Olivia's telling the truth, everyone owes her an apology. If she's lying, then it seems like she tried to ruin the life of an innocent man for attention on TikTok, I guess. Now, should he have been passed out with his pants on his ankles? Probably not, but also he was in his own house.
Yeah.
But either way, Olivia claims that she has proof that the door was open from the start. And the prosecutors, they have the opposite. So they also have proof that she opened the door. So as of right now, it's a he said, she said. We don't know the answers because I didn't see any proof from either side today. Regardless,
Right,
though,
but-
this is now a nightmare for Olivia because this
Think about the precedent that is being stated here, in it that as a man, you cannot be in the comfort of your own home that you pay for, right? You pay the light, the electric, okay, the utility, all of the utilities, and I can't be in my own home with my pants betwixt my ankles. That makes no damn sense. Let's stop that talk immediately, all right? Because now y'all have men perpetrating crimes while asleep, which is insane.
has now been moved to a higher court. But whatever the outcome of this trial is, I will be updating you guys.
Shout out again to Atozi for the in-person reporting. All right, link to his channel right down in the description box down below. But the idea that he's actually going to these court cases gives me so much ideas, even as a content creator myself. Nevertheless, and I've said this on other pieces of content before, guys, what's saving him right now is the recording, okay? The Ring camera recording. For fear that a chick is gonna come in there, record you, and then go up on TikTok later and say it was as assault. That's too much, all right? But investing into some type of recording software in and around your space, especially now, you could do it with cloud softwares, and I understand that there's security issues with some of them as well, but you can invest into something like that in order to increase the chances that the truth will out-prioritize a person that is leveraging a victimhood narrative. I am so happy that they're putting this to a higher level court, which probably will mean, if found guilty, higher level consequences. And I do hope that they throw the absolute book about her. All right, I understand when this is not Hammurabi's code, it's not eye for an eye. You cannot give her the exact same punishment as what she falsely alleged, but I do think that they should not give her the minimum either. Liars like this need the book thrown at them. Facts need not be optional, because if so, it's a dangerous society to be in. And that's exactly why people like this need to be made examples out of, so that other liars in the future can take a look at those consequences and be incentivized differently. And similar to Rhoda Brickface Osmond, hopefully they give this chick a 10-year social media ban as well. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoy the content here today. Shout out to Aura for sponsoring today's video. Every time I do one of these these updates for this crazy chick, I'm going to talk about Aura. Take your private information off of these public websites. Use my link down below to get 2 free weeks free. All right, you only need a day of those 2 weeks in order to check if your private information is exposed across these sites. So go up there, use my link, and at least try that, all right? But I appreciate you guys. I love you. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
You is ratchet as they come. Rainbow weaves and batwing lashes, weighing more than a man. What time is your football practice? I bet you can hit that A gift like a mug. How you big back it? Said a man must buy you gifts. Where here goes a Fitbit tracker. Are you mad? Cause you got 3 kids by 4 different dads. You pick cookies, then you bash. Oh man, when you get sad.